everyone. Hope I'm audible. So if I'm audible and if you guys are able to see me properly, can you guys please tell me that and respond to that in the chat box, please? Yes. Hari says yes. Sagar, yes. Okay, done. Super. Super. Yes. Very good. Done. So now we'll do this. So rather than waiting for others to come, I think it's better if we start the session right now. Okay. So that's what we are going to do right now. So all of you guys are here for this webinar on what is the impact of this COVID-19 on the Indian job market, and not just the Indian job market, and what has it done to our higher educations? What is the future going to look like? So without any wait, we'll start. Now, to begin with, we'll start with this guy. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys would have seen this guy somewhere in your childhood photos or in your school books. And now, this guy. So like I told you, you guys would have already figured out who this guy is. This is Sir Isaac Newton. And the reason why I brought this guy into this first slide is that, see, this guy, he found something which changed the entire universe, I would say. Okay, what did he find and what did he discover? Obviously, gravity. So if this guy did not find or discover gravity, probably we wouldn't have had this uh, webinar, I would say. And you are wondering, sir, what is gravity got to do with this webinar? Guys, we are having this webinar because of the satellites and the telecommunications that has been made possible. Okay, and the telecommunication has been made possible because of satellites that we have around the Earth, right? So, what is the reason? Why do satellites? How do satellites revolve around Earth? Because of the law of gravity. So this guy is the one who found it, right? And do you guys know when did he find this particular law of gravity? And if you guys are wondering when it was, so it was during his college times. It was the year 1665. So that was the same year when England, they faced a very big pandemic, just like what we are facing right now. So they, at that time, they called it as the Great Plague of London. Okay. So it was the same condition that he faced also. It was the same quarantine, the entire lockdown happened, and he was studying in he's studying in Cambridge. So because of this lockdown, what happened? He was asked to go back to his hometown. So because of this quarantine only, he felt like he has to do something and all that. So he went to his own farm, and that's when all these Apple story, the rest of the story you guys would have heard it. See, the reason why I wanted this story to be to begin with is quite simple, guys. I just want you guys to understand. Just because it is lockdown doesn't mean we cannot be productive. Okay, if Newton had thought of not being productive, just think of what would have happened. Okay, the entire world might have changed. That's what I want to tell you guys. Now let's straight away get into this jobs in India. So when you talk about jobs in India, this is the broad classification of the jobs that I get to see in India. Okay, I don't mean that these are the only jobs that you get to see in India. No, that's not what I meant. What I actually meant was, when it comes to any graduate, okay, I've asked a lot of graduates. So, what do you think is the jobs? What are the jobs that are available for you? So, whenever I ask any graduate, these are the replies that he comes up with. So, if this guy is from engineering or something, some other science background, so what he says is, sir, I've got my own core studies, and apart from that, R&Ds, and these are very, very rare replies. But what is the majority of reply? That I'll definitely get into any of the IT sectors, right? IT. That is a service-based industry. Most of the ITs are service-based industries. Whereas product-based industries. What do you mean by product-based industry and what is a service-based industry? Service-based industries are the ones that provide services. Whereas products, you can actually buy the product out of it. Okay, let's say Tata Consultancy Services. They are a service-based company. Okay, whereas Nokia, all the mobile phones that you guys use, those are product-based companies. And core companies that I've mentioned over here. So what I'm actually mentioning is the core companies of civil and mechanical in general. Okay, not just civil and mechanical. Take any other companies, any other core fields. apart from these IT sectors. So all these I've mentioned also. And these are the broad categories. And apart from this private sector, okay, the other broad classification that I get to see in most of people's mind in India is the public sector that is going for government jobs. Okay, actually, when it comes to government jobs and all the government exams, there are actually plenty of exams. Actually, more than 20 different recruitment boards are there in India. I hope you guys know. When I talk about recruitment boards, these are a few recruitment boards that you guys get to see. IBPS, which conducts the exams for all the banks that you get to see, and the staff selection committee, and then railway recruitment board, and UPSC. These are few of the recruitment boards that we get to see in India. Okay. The reason why I've listed only these recruitment boards and not the others, we'll see that in the upcoming slides. Okay. Now, when it comes to the private sector, okay, for those of you who are having an idea as to, so I'm planning to get into this private sector, be it service based industry, be it a product based industry. So these are certain silver linings that we got to see during this pandemic. Okay, listen carefully. When you talk about a service based industry and a product based industry, there are a few things which I want you guys to know for sure. Okay, a service based industry compared to a private based industry, what happens is here the salary package that you guys get to have is bit low. Yeah, that's true. Okay, and at the same time, when you talk about the product based company, you obviously know by now that the salary is bit high. On an average, you could say the salary is 5 lakhs per annum on an average. Whereas in service based industry, it differs. Like it starts from 2.6 to 3.4, but that's the general salary package for freshers. Okay, and just because the salary package is more, okay, obviously the recruitment process will also be tougher there. And let's say, not just that, even when it comes to core companies, let's say core companies for civil, L&T, Saint Gobain's and all that. See what happens for all these companies is that definitely they test your core knowledge. Okay, you're definitely supposed to be very, very good in your core knowledge. And not just that, you have to constantly upskill yourself. Okay, definitely. Constantly upskilling yourself. And what are the things that you're supposed to do? We'll see that. Okay, we'll start with the private sector now. Okay. When it comes to the private sector, as I've already told you, we have both service-based industries, product-based, and your core companies. And the most important thing is, guys, listen, TCS has announced that by the year 2025, which means within just 5 years, it is planning to come up with 75% of its total entire workforce to go for work from home jobs. Okay. And now you might wonder, sir, what is this got to do with me getting placed or me getting a job? See, this is where you have to think logically. See, if almost 3 lakh people are working from home, then definitely TCS is saving a lot of money. It doesn't have to pay rent by the year 2025. So it will definitely recruit a lot more people. So instead of paying for rent, it will definitely recruit a lot more people. Okay. So by the year 2025, you can definitely expect a lot of changes that will happen because of this work from home policies. And Infosys. See, this is one of the most important things which I wanted you guys to know. Okay, once this lockdown started, not just the IT companies, everyone they had this particular panic as to what has to be done, what is the next step, and what will happen in the future, and all that. But there were very very few companies which came up with this particular process of work from home. Okay, and now a lot of people wondered, is this work from home possible? Will people be productive? Okay, here is your answer actually. See, listen, Infosys, it is actually planning to come up with the permanent work from home options for 33 to 35 percentage of its entire employees. Okay, almost 50%. Just imagine if it is planning for almost 50% for work from home, that's how much people are productive even during work from home options. Okay, so that's what I wanted you guys to know. And it has also got a lot of accreditations with being 90 to 95 percentage of its entire workforce working from home. Infosys has been accredited or applauded by a lot of its clients for being productive. Okay, and you guys would have obviously heard about this in news actually. So because of a lot of tensions that we got to see, border tensions and a lot of other countries posing, import tariffs for China. A lot of manufacturing companies, right from manufacturing the AC companies, ovens, shoes, all these manufacturing units, they have started to think of the alternatives. Okay, so what is the alternative for China? So obviously they will come up with the India, because be it a population, be it workforce, be it youth, we have got everything. So what else do you need? So definitely they are looking at other options, and India is their best choice. I'm not telling you guys this is going to happen tomorrow, so you'll get your jobs tomorrow. No, but this is a step-by-step process. It will happen in a year or two, but definitely there is going to be a huge change in it. Okay, and when it comes to the latest recruitments, see, in spite of this COVID lockdown and all that, TCS has told us that it is going to hire 40,000 freshers, and not just that, CTS it is going to hire 20,000 freshers, HCL 15,000, and Capgemini has started its recruitment process. But here's the interesting part. Okay, Capgemini, it has come up with innovative recruitment module, I would say. And you might wonder what is the innovative recruitment module. And the module is something that comprises of games. It has got games actually. Okay, so once you guys get to see the pattern, you'll understand. So they have come up with innovative models. And you might wonder, sir, what has that got to do with me? Unless and otherwise, you guys know what is actually happening in the current recruitment process, there is no chance you guys are gonna get placed easily. So that's very, very, very important. And DXC technologies, most of Andhra and Telangana-based colleges, they would have probably heard about this DXC technologies, because that's quite popular there. So DXC technologies, even they have started their recruitment right from June last week. Okay, so it has been hardly a month. Uh, Now, definitely yes. How can we not talk about skills that are required in the future? So I didn't just talk about skills. So I wanted to make sure I'm classifying that very, very broad. So I've classified that into two types. One is personal skills, and other is the skills that you can learn on your own. Okay, that can be learned. And one is personal skills. When you talk about personal skills, what are the things that you should develop? First one, the most important thing, is your adaptive skills. So you could have guessed, obviously, because no one actually knew that this pandemic is going to happen, work from home is going to happen. Nobody knew all this stuff. So you should be in a position, and definitely, company wants only people who are ready to accept any change that is actually happening. And the second thing is, you should be creative. Obviously, I don't. I think it's needless to explain. Okay, and frequent upskilling. Yeah, frequent upskilling. I'll give you a simple example, guys. See, let's say, let's talk about. Okay, this is a popular complaint that I get to see have. Like I said, you're not talking about core companies, but you're just talking about IT companies. Don't worry, I'll give you simple examples for core companies. So let's say there is a civil engineer. Okay, and he's good at surveying. Okay. Now, earlier days, how do they survey? So they used all these tapes. Okay, earlier it was chains actually. Then they came up with numerical tapes and all that. And the latest one that you guys get to see is theodolite. Okay. For civil engineers, you guys know it's small equipment with which they get to see what's the length, based on the they'll decide the distance and all that stuff. So even that particular instrument, it actually needs certain coding. Okay, and this is the answer for all those civil and mechanical engineering students who ask me, sir, why do I need coding? Definitely, guys. See, coding has become normal. It is a basic requirement for no matter which department you guys are from. Okay, so earlier it was coding only for IT and other companies like that. But now, whereas now, coding is the basic requirement, I would say. Okay, very soon you'll get to have coding rounds in all the companies. Very soon, it is going to happen within 2 to 3 years. I'm very sure about that. And frequent upskilling. So once you are good in one particular equipment, doesn't mean you can use that particular equipment for the entire process. No, within 1 or 2 years, you could have newer tools and newer equipments. And the latest one that you guys get to have in surveying is the drone survey. If you guys have heard about it. Okay, so definitely, see, this is not like your government jobs where once your job is done, it doesn't mean you'll, let's say, your job is secure. No, that's not how it works here. Okay, you are definitely supposed to make sure that you upskill yourself very, 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 very constantly. Unless and otherwise you guys do it, your job security is not in your hands. Yeah, done. And multitasking, obviously, that's true. You are definitely supposed to be multitasking. Every company needs person who can do multiple tasks at the same time. I don't just want a guy who does just one job, and for the other one I need to hire someone else. No, obviously that's quite obvious, right? And when you talk about analytical skills, what do you mean by analytical skills? What I mean by analytical skills is the skills that helps you make decisions on your own, and the skills that helps you think out of the box and all these stuffs. Okay, and how does a company know whether you are skilled and analytically and all that? So that's where your first round of test comes in, where you guys attend questions from aptitude, right? So what do you mean by aptitude? Aptitude is actually a test to find out whether you guys are analytically strong or not. Okay, and how about the skills that you can actually learn? You can, but what I would say is you should actually learn. Robotic process automation is definitely going to have a very, very, very big future base. And for those of you who haven't heard about robotic process automation, it's a tool which automates a process which, let's say, a small process which does not actually need a human interference. So this is a tool which automates it. That's all. It's an automation tool. That's all. As simple as that. And big data, you guys would have heard about it. IoT and 3D printing, obviously, definitely 3D printing. And there are there are videos where I got to see 3D printing is used to print guns and all. Okay, but that's not actually what to say. Uh, as how would I describe it? As true as the one that we actually manufacture, but still it is under construction. Okay, 3D bricks are available for the normal constructions that we get to see. 3D bricks, bricks that are constructed or printed with this 3D printings. And cloud computing, obviously that's true. Cloud computing and the data mining skills. The latest when you guys have, if you guys have registered for jobs in Naukri and all, you guys would have seen one thing. A lot of people want telecallers. A lot of companies are actually looking for telecallers. Okay, and now you might wonder, sir, what is this telecalling jobs and do you mean BPO? Yeah, listen, it's not just for BPO guys. We want data. Okay, so you would have got it from anywhere, but ultimate process, ultimate goal is a company needs data for of its clients so that it can talk to them, so that it can sell its products. So that's quite obvious, right? So they need people who can talk to the clients. Okay, so this is one such role which is definitely going to be very huge in demand. Okay, in the very near future. And apart from that, so this is one such quote which got me thinking, like, what if this is going to be a new future, guys? Just think of this in 2000, in early 2000s. If you were good in IT, if you were very good in the basic programming, C and C++, it was quite enough. You would have been in your government jobs because early 2000s, I would say 2003 and 2005 to 2003 to 2005 is the time where IT got very good booming, right? So IT got to see a very good peak there. Okay. Whereas now, okay, just because you are good in something doesn't mean uh, a company will have you forever. Okay. So this is a very good example for that. Okay. Only skill that is be very important right now is the skill to learn new skills. Because no matter whichever other skill that you guys possess, it will become extinct at one time or the other. Okay, the company will be over it. They would find new technologies. So unless and otherwise you guys find new skills and upskill yourself, so it is not useful. And now the other big sector that I was talking about, we are discussing about private sectors. When you talk about the public sectors that we have, so when I say public sector, the obviously the government jobs. So as I've already told you, we have a lot of government jobs: the UPSC exams, TNPSC exams, electrical boards. Okay, when you talk about the government jobs for engineering, you guys have a lot of positions like public welfare department, highway department, and all that stuff. Okay, but what I'm actually going to talk about is these things. Okay, bank exams, SSC exams, and RRB exams. Okay, So when you talk about bank exams, there are actually three different types of bank exams. So one is the exams that are conducted by IBPS. Second one is SBI, State Bank of India, and the third one it is actually RBI. Okay, and same way SSC and RRB. And now what I actually want you guys to know is, as I've already told you, there are a lot of government exams that you get to see in India. But why did I choose these three? Why did I choose these three? The reason why I choose these three is because the government actually chose these three. And you are wondering, sir, what are you talking about? Listen, government has come up with a new agency. Okay, the name of that particular agency is National Recruitment Agency. So it's a team of people. So it's a team of people. It is a commission, or you could say an agency. So their actual job is to conduct this particular test called uh, Common Eligibility Test. Okay, so this is the latest trend that you guys get to see in your government exams. If you guys have researched about it, it has hardly been a week since we got this announcement. Hardly been a week. So the government is planning to come up with a common eligibility test. So this particular test, what it is going to do is it is going to replace, okay, the first round of interview for your SSC exams, bank exams, and your railway recruitment exams. No matter which exam that you are opting for, no matter if it is bank or SSC or your what is it, the other thing, RRB exams, the first round is obviously going to be your CET. And now you are wondering, sir, what about the other exams? Why is it not like that and all that stuff? See, this is the first step. Later on, this common eligibility test is going to be unifying all the government exams that you have in our India. So that's their ultimate plan. So they have started with unifying the preliminary test for just these three exams. Okay, bank exams. If you are opting for bank exams, this is the first exam that you should opt for. You should actually. Second one, if you're opting for SSC exams, this is the first exam that you should get. Even if you're going looking for RRB exams, so this is your preliminary test. Only if you guys clear the CET, the second round of interviews. Listen, so the points are obviously given over here. Let me also explain it. So there are three types of exams. So three different types of exams. One is for graduates, one is for higher secondary, and one is for matriculation, 10th pass students. And as I've already told you, this is going to be the preliminary test for all these three exams, and not just the preliminary test. The other test, even to, let's say, if you guys go for Group B and Group C exams, based on the marks that you guys attain in this CET, you will be shortlisted for them. Okay, you'll be shortlisted for them. And the next most important thing is, so they have very, very clearly mentioned that it is going to be a common curriculum. Okay, so it will be conducted in many different exams, but it is going to be a common curriculum, a standard curriculum. Okay, and the test score is going to be valid for 3 years, and all these things are given, no restrictions in number of attempts. You can attempt n number of times. Okay, it is going to happen almost 2 times a year. So you can attend n number of times till you guys reach the maximum age limit for that particular post or the exam that they are offering. And even the maximum age limit is given based on the social status or the categories like SC, ST, OBC, and all that stuff. Okay. The reason why I wanted you guys to know about the CET is, see, once the CET gets into place, a lot of change will happen for all those people, job seekers who want government jobs. Okay, and you might wonder, sir, what is the change that might happen? See, the change is, earlier, a person who wanted to clear SSC will just look for SSC exams. Okay, will definitely just look for SSC exams. Whereas now, no matter which exam that you are opting for, which job that you are opting for, the first exam that you need to clear is common eligibility test. This is the eligibility test. So only if you guys clear this, you can go to the next round for the jobs that you opt for. Okay, so this is going to be a very, very, very important exam that all graduates, all job seekers, that they should know about. Okay, and other thing is, what I would suggest is, once you complete graduation, this is going to be a new trend. You can actually think about it later in the future. See, there will be a lot of centers which will give you CET trainings. Okay, CET trainings are very, very important actually, guys. I don't know whether you guys understand the importance of it. See, the reason why I'm stressing this much is when it comes to CET, okay, so you can actually avoid a lot of corruptions actually. Corruption can be avoided. You could see a lot of people telling you that they were supposed to bribe, they were asked to give bribes to get into the government jobs and all that. But once it becomes centralized, okay, once there is a eligibility test and only then you can get to the upcoming rounds and all that, okay, the corruption will definitely reduce. And obviously, I'm not lying if I didn't tell you that obviously the competition is going to be more. I agree, but definitely there are a lot of plus points for this CET. Okay, and opportunity lies in difficulty. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys know about this Y2K bug. Okay, so there was this particular problem that a lot of people faced. Not a lot of people, almost all people faced in their early 90s, 1990s. So this particular problem was called as Y2K bug or else the Millennium bug. The problem was very, very simple, guys. Let me tell you what the problem was. Okay, earlier when the computers were created, okay, the people who wrote coding for those computers, they did not think about the future. Okay, so the computers were programmed in such a way that when it comes to the year calculation, the maximum was only two-digit numbers. So let's say if it is 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, and then 99 was possible. Okay, year 1999 was written as 99, whereas 2000 it was not able to do so. Okay, there was no values for that. So that became a very, very big problem because see, there were see this particular logo that you guys get to see, right? Turn off your computer before midnight of the actual new year of 2000. Okay, there were logos like these and everyone thought, okay, this is going to be the end of IT. Computers are going not going to work from 2000s and all that stuff. Okay, but that's not true. Even if I tell you right now that the computers are going to be over, obviously you're not going to believe me because you know for sure that computers are our future. Okay, there are very few people, okay, very few companies that especially India is one such country which benefited out of this Y2K bug, I would say. And you might wonder, sir, how could a country benefit out of it? A lot of companies in India, what they did was once the problems got rectified, okay, a lot of companies in India, they were their first choice, a lot of companies first choice for outsourcing. Okay, so we outsourced a lot of companies, BPOs and a lot of other services that we provide. Okay, and based off that, because of that, you can actually see there is a rapid growth when it comes to India's IT sector from the year 2001. Okay, earlier for all these 3 years put together, I would say the turnover was somewhere around 10 to 15 billion dollars. Whereas think about just 2 years later, in 2003 and 2004, it is 2030 every year. From then on, every year, it's like almost 10 million, I mean, $10 billion difference every year. So actually, by now it is almost it has crossed over 100 and 150 billion dollars, obviously. But still, see, it started from there. Okay. And now I think it's better if Mr. Parthasarthi, he will join you guys once again. So he will discuss with you guys what is going to happen when it comes to uh, higher studies and higher educations.
Hi Harish, thank you very much. Can you flash the PPT please? Good evening everyone. This is Partha. I take a career launch of Coimbatore for CAT and MBA coachings. So we will discuss about how the impact of COVID is going to be on the higher education and where we are heading to and what are the opportunities that you as a student or some early working professionals have in for future. Yeah, we were just doing a small survey among the college students. We did, I mean, one of the other institutions did this. So if you see how people are feeling during this lockdown. Harish, can you just go to the next slide? So this is basically like what it came out. I think it should reflect many of your feelings right now. One is no one is excited about this lockdown because all of us are either concerned. At least I am concerned about what is going to happen in the future and how we are going to face the uncertainties. And people feel that other set of people are like the very positive kind who feel 26% of them feel optimistic that good times would come. And yes, good times would come. We will see how we can use of this COVID times to equip ourselves and proceed for the future. So like you see, optimistic 26%, concerned 48%, sad, yes, many are sad because like a lot of things don't happen, and so that is about 6%, uncertain about the future. So we do not know what's going to happen in our colleges, what is going to happen to our courses. Are we going to write a final exam? Is UGC going to waive off our final exam? Everyone else got their exams waived off. 10th standard have got their exams waived off. Only the final year students have not got, and because of that, you're not able to apply to your PG also. So that is how uncertain we are now, and that keeps a lot of question marks to the future. So we will see. This is not the first time we are facing that. And Harish, next slide, please. So this is what I said. Like exams are delayed, admissions like for PG courses are delayed. Study abroad program, yes, it's completely gone. I mean, like nobody is thinking even thinking about going abroad right now, or even spending so much money and going abroad to study. Anxiety and nervousness, yes, it not only to you, it is for all of us. Even for working professionals, it's there. We are all anxious about how the future is going to be. It is actually it's a very anxious times actually. But thing is, one is that we need to stay strong. We need to be focused, and that is only way to be. I mean, like we do not have a choice. So we need to adjust to the new normal. That is like how you're going through all your online classes. You're working from home, and what are missing your friends, missing your campus. The peer learning is missing. So this is all the visible impact that we see right now. So are we the only one? Harish, next slide, please. There are like 157 crores learners affected worldwide, and you are part of that 157 crores. So you're not alone. It is not that only the 32 crore students affected in India. It is everywhere. It is everywhere, and we've got about 157 crore learners affected across various sectors. Right from the school students to graduates to PhD students, everywhere. Even everybody is a learner here. So all of the learning part is affected now. Next slide, please. And Harish had actually given a small hint about this coming. Is this the first time are we having this? No, this is not the first time there is a problem like this. A huge, maybe this is the first time you guys are facing. Maybe you guys in early 20s are facing this, or even be aware of. Because the last time it came, you were in early early high schools, maybe 6th standard, 7th standard. So that is the issue here, because like you guys haven't experienced. But for people like us, yes, we have seen this before. 1997, 98, there was an Asian economic crisis. I mean, like all economies across Asia went down to a huge thing, and people in Southeast Asia had a huge trouble. So which actually resulted in huge job losses, huge pay cuts, and it was there everywhere. I mean, the problem was there everywhere. So across Asia. Then once that was getting into normalcy, then came the dot-com bubble burst. That dot-com bubble burst was the Y2K issue that Harish briefly talked about. So that actually, a lot of people lost their jobs. I mean, especially in the IT sector, people lost their jobs, and until then, many people were focusing. I mean, like, see, those times, anybody who had a BSc degree in mathematics or physics was eligible to get into a software company, and they were doing it. I mean, like, they were the people who were actually the early people of in a software companies. I mean, like, unlike today where software companies are almost full with engineers and MCAs and MSc computer sciences, earlier time BSc and BSc people were taken and trained to be there. So most of these people lost their jobs, and especially unless they were like, they had retrained them and they were adaptable, they lost their jobs. And that point of time, the companies also stopped recruiting. Say for example, 2001, 2001, people lost job. I mean, people had difficult times coming out of the campus, and then things were this. Then I'm sure some of you will remember the subprime crisis, where the issues in US and across Greece and across Asia, and even especially in Europe and Americas. So that again affected, because we were supplying software, and we were more suppliers to the IT, and ITS were more supplying to these countries, the Europe and America. So that was another problem, and that we faced, and we came out of it successfully. And now we have COVID-19. So COVID-19, we say 2019-20, and maybe it will get little extended to 2021 as well. But it is again an opportunity that we see what we can actually do. So as a student, how I feel it in the future it can impact is, Harish, next slide. Yeah. The placements, yes, this year placements, most of you guys may not have got your call letters, because like many companies who actually invite students to join after April, May not have called you. And then the final year students, yes, you would have not started your placement preparations or placement activities. Placement committees might have not been visiting companies. Then guest lectures and visiting faculty is not happening. Why I'm saying this especially is that yes, you will have guest lectures to webinar, or the faculty speaking from everywhere around the world. But that interaction, that softer interaction which happens pre and post guest lecture is more valuable than the 1 hour or 2 hour session that you sit and do. So I feel that is a huge impact as for a student life. And of course, like I spoke about the campus life that you do, the peer learning part, and especially in an MBA or in a PG postgraduate studies, the peer learning is important. I mean, like we always say, in an MBA, 50% learning happens through peers. So that certainly is missing now, and certainly it has impacted. And of course, like I said, study abroad opportunities have shrunk, because many European and American universities are closing down. Many are not taking admissions. Many have huge financial difficulties right now. Then, of course, spike in unemployment rate has come, is increased because people are not recruiting one, and people are not recruiting, and people are not asking people to join. The people who have recruited are not being taken on board. Harish, next slide, please. So here we have, I mean, like, what is the positive thing we got? See, when 1997-98 crisis happened, 99, 2000, it was a boom year on campus. So people who joined in 97, who joined higher education institutions in 1997, had a good time when they got placed in 1999 and 2000. Similarly, people who joined campuses during the dot-com bubble, so people who joined in 2000, 2001, 2002, there were good campus interviews. Especially that was the time after the IT bubble burst. There were a lot of takers for FMCG and banking. Earlier, banking used to be not a great career opportunity for many people, because people always used to think about the IT and the swanky lifestyle. But 2002 to 2005, people started embracing the beauty of FMCG life and banking. So if you see, many banks recruited heavily during that point of time. Again, 2008-9, people thought, and then that was going on. People thought 8-9 crisis. The people who joined during that, they also came out. When they came out, that subprime crisis was over, and people were actually thirsty for including more manpower in their own companies. So again, there was like surge in campus placement. Similarly, for all of you here, we would want to say, this. This is a time that I believe we should invest. We should invest in higher education. We should invest in higher education now. So yes, there is huge disruptions happening in higher education, but this is once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, whatever sector you want to master in engineering, you want to master in business administration, you want to master in fashion, whatever it is. But this is the high time to invest in higher education. Yes, right now, if you're looking for a job, you will not get a job. I mean, you will not get a job. Even if you get a job, it is not going to be paying you enough, because people today are in a mode of cost cutting, and recruitments today are slow. So next, instead of being jobless and being at home, it is time that you invest in capabilities. You invest in making yourself more capable, and invest yourself in becoming more job ready. Yes, we will. Many colleges are finding it difficult to adopt the next slide, please. The there's a huge disruption that's happening, and there's a huge disruption in the way it is happening. Basically, if you see, the reason being that we've been following the age-old traditional ways of teaching, so that you have a lecture, you have a laboratory. So that is how we've been going through. Yes, still you need laboratories to do, but there are the teaching ways we've been following. So there's a huge disruption. People who have adopted, people who the universities, people who have adopted well, they are like shining, and people who have not adopted are going down. So I would only say this is a welcome opportunity for the way teaching is happening in colleges, and people who have been ready uh, are able to embrace this change and move ahead. And this also gives you an opportunity to consider taking innovative courses like artificial intelligence, robotics. I mean, like the data-driven data interpretations, data-driven courses. So these times are giving chances for universities to consider such courses. So now we get emerging technologies being taught, and secondly, opportunities inside India are increasing, and people are becoming aware of opportunities, because you're not going abroad and spending huge monies. There are opportunities, very many opportunities in India. Where people are applying to the best of the colleges. Next slide, please. So, I mean, uh, I believe this is the right time to reflect, and maybe like you guys, whoever is wanting is at the finishing of your in the final year or in the pre-final year, or even in the who just completed, it's the time you guys reflect on yourself and utilize this lockdown to understand you as an individual, and like work on your own growth strategies. I would say you think it over. This is the time you can actually spend on your own selves, because you do not have distractions, you cannot travel, you do not have colleges. I know where you have very limited college classes happening, and then subsequent assignments. You do not have much of socializing, but I would only request you to think of yourselves, think of where you want to go and how you can go. So, and secondly, and like I said, when this whole thing is over, we are going to have a boom. I'm telling you, this is how it's been happening. So either it is 2021 placement sessions or early 2022 placement season, we are going to have a boom. Only thing is, you need to I would say that you guys need to work on your learning outcomes. Make sure your learning outcomes are good from your institutions, wherever it is, and whatever courses you want to take. And only request your institutions to so that the teaching styles of your teachers and your colleges matches to your learning styles. That is how it actually does, because it is not a one size fits all. So be open-minded in your own classrooms. Make sure that they are teaching the way that you would want to learn, and please explore a lot of new courses. There are lots of opportunities available. There are lots of free courseware available in so many things. edX, your Coursera. There's so many available opportunities. Please use them to what I mean, like equip yourself with new skills and new technology. So, and any of you would want to pursue an MBA as a career option after your graduation, we are here to help you out. Harish, next slide. We help people at CAT, MAT, and TANSET and all the MBA admissions. These are my numbers. you can always contact me, and you can write to us at Coimbatore@careerlauncher.com. Any queries you can write down, or you can even WhatsApp me. You will get a clarity. And we can also always walk into the center with a prior appointment. Thank you. You can post your questions in the chat. We can.
And guys, listen. Now, me and Mr. Pathasarthi will be available for 5 to 10 more minutes for your questions. If you guys have any questions as to anything regarding how we can help you, or what are the things that you have doubts on, so please do post it in the chat box. Yes. When will CET exams happen? Okay, so CET exams, the announcements have happened just 1 week earlier. So when I tell you that announcements have happened, it doesn't mean the date of exams have been given. No, that's not what have happened. They have just announced that an exam called CET will happen. We don't know anything as to when it is going to happen. All we know is it is going to happen twice a year. So an announcement has been given as to this sort of an exam will happen in the future. That's all. So if there is any other update, we'll definitely give it to you guys. Okay, we also have, see, you can either contact us with this phone number, or you can mail us to this one, and you can also follow our social media pages for that. So IBPS notifications have been released. Yeah, you're right. 26th is the last day. So for the actual notification that we have as of right now is for IBPS PO. Okay. The recent freshers who have completed your engineering in 2020, technically you guys have not completed, so you are not eligible to write that exam. But other than that, everyone else, you can opt for that particular exam. And the last date for the registration for that particular exam is August 26th. And for any other updates, you have this page, and we have few more messages. Is it possible to study MBA without work experience? I think Mr. Partha will be.
What is that? I didn't get. I didn't get.
So it was a private message. I'll tell you. So is it possible to study MBA without work experience?
Okay. Okay. We'll come to that. Yes, you can start studying MBA without work experience. I don't be.
Sorry, sir. I think your network is breaking.
I'll say that consider people do not prefer. Not. I was a fresher, and I joined immediately after BSc Mathematics. I was not even an engineer. So today there are IIMs, there are institutions which actually give preference to people without experience, because they are always looking out for the diverse mix of candidates in their batches. So yes, you do not need an experience to go for an MBA, and especially CAT today having like 20 plus IIMs, you got a huge opportunity if you have a little spark, and you can prepare well for like 6 months. You can get into best of the IIMs in a short time. And you can talk to me. Maybe you can flash my number, Harish. So we can like talk to me, or you can WhatsApp me your queries. We can take it forward.
So if there is anyone who has doubts for your, if you are planning for your MBA and all, so this is the number that you could.
Yeah, we actually had a couple of recent successes. One of our students scored 99.5 in TANSET this year, and one of our students who's studying for CAT, he scored 99.5, and one of our other students who's studying for our for direct MBA after 10th, 12th standard, he has been selected for IIM Rotax interview round. So we've been having started to get our own successes here in this field, MBA entrance.
So actually, there are two more messages which I've got privately actually. So I'll answer to them. So what will be the syllabus for CET? Okay. Just like I've told you already, we don't know what is the actual syllabus for CET, but we can know for sure that it is going to collaborate all three that we actually have right now. Earlier, if you take the bank and SSC, the actual syllabus that we had as of now was built in such a way that 70% of the entire syllabus for bank and SSCs were almost same. But now the CET will be made sure in such a way that it comprises of everything. But we don't have an official announcement yet. Okay, can you arrange a session for banking? Yes. Guys, listen, just like I've told you, me and Mr. Pata and there are a few other people, we are planning to come up with webinars every week. Okay. So if you want to know when is our next webinar or next session on the latest updates in the current trend and all that, please do follow us on our social media pages so that you guys can understand. And it really surprises me that a person is asking me how to learn from home. Guys, this is 21st century, yeah. Okay, you can do anything from your home. You guys have internet. What else do you need? Okay, there are a lot of online sites. You can just Google for it. Okay, so that is one thing that you can do. Is there anyone who has any more doubts? Like any other doubts? People posted.
I got a message from somebody who's known to me. He's asking when is the CAT? CAT is actually they have announced CAT, so it will be in the month of November. Mostly it will not be postponed. So whoever is looking forward to join MBA courses, CAT you can apply now. Applications have started, so you can start applying. And today the thousands of institutions take your CAT score and give you admission. So anybody planning to do an MBA can always start working now because CAT CAT has been announced.
You guys obviously have our numbers, so please do contact us if you guys are in need of any help. So other than that, thanks guys. Thanks for attending. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.